And this is how penguins swim, dolphins do. And the animal is named after the porpoise. It swims just like that as well. It's a great way to catch prey and get away from predators. And the Southern Ocean, where these guys can be found, have a number of large predators lurking in the waters. The biggest predator for the Australian sea lion is a killer whale. And there's another one I always forget. Anyone know what it might be?
Shark.
That's right, there's sharks out there. And Lexi does do a cracker of a shark impersonation. In actual fact though, she's showing you very natural behaviour. It wasn't very hard to get Lexi to do that. When seals overheat or when they eat too much, they can only cool down by exposing a flipper to the sea breeze. And that's because their fur coats are so good at trapping heat in the body, this is the only way they can cool down. Now any flipper will do, even the rear end. No prettiest side, great way to moon about 1,000 people though, and actually cool down your body in the same process. Well, unfortunately, some of the most dangerous things for Australian sea lions aren't their natural predators. It's often the impact of man. And sadly, on the Australian coastline, every year there's about 1,200 Australian sea lions dying as a direct result of the impact of man. And unfortunately, there's about another 100,000 other marine animals washing up dead as well. A lot of these animals might ingest things like plastic bags or even cigarette butts. Some of them will get entangled in things like six-pack holders, netting material, and even packing tape. Lexi's found herself a net. Now, something like a net, it is an open invitation to play, particularly to an inquisitive animal like a sea lion. They love nothing more than to pick these items up and thrash them about. You show when they do that, Lex? Big thrash around, big shake, get someone wet. That's what we're after. Good girl. And you can see that obviously is a lot of fun for a sea lion, but that kind of fun can turn dangerous. As they get entangled in items like this, and more often than not they do, the item doesn't grow with them. Now, at this time of year, Lexi could put on up to 10 kilos in 1 week. So you can imagine very quickly that'd get really tight. She'd struggle to swim and breathe. She could even drown. It'd be a very sad ending, wouldn't it, Lexi? Good girl. Lucky enough for you, though, Lex. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to remove that net. I'm going to make sure it ends up in the nearest bin. Well, how do you think Lexi's done to start our show? She done a good job?
Yeah.
I think she's done a terrific job. Do you think, Lexi? You been pretty good? Yeah, you're modest too. Well, Lexi and I, we're going to say goodbye, but we're making way for two friends of ours. So let's give it up for Mel and her seal, Mab. It's over to you two.
Thank you very much, Ryan and Lexi. Well, this here is the gorgeous Mab, and Mab is a beautiful New Zealand fur seal. Now, he is very different to Lexi. New Zealand fur seals have got 2 layers of fur, and you can see Mab's got an orange coat that comes through underneath, and that helps to keep his body nice and warm and dry. And that top brown layer is called the guard hair. Now, we were just talking about predators, and when seals aren't looking out for predators, they make really good hunters themselves. Mabby here has a healthy diet, and on an average day, he'll pack away around 6 kilos of food. Now, Mab is a New Zealander. He can be a little bit hard to understand. But Mab, do you want to tell everybody what your favourite food is, mate? Thank you. That's right. He said fosh. What do you think? Was that a good joke? Was it a good joke? Hello? Slow on the uptake, but we got there in the end. Now, as I said, he'll eat about 6 kilos of food every day, and although he doesn't stop to chew that food, he swallows it head first and whole. That the spines and scales don't get stuck in his throat or his chest because he can't catch. And he can fill up really, really fast. Are you watching? Good work. Now, although he doesn't use those teeth for chewing, he does have a good set of them, so you'd expect him to have a lovely smile. Thank you. And eating all that fish means he's got some pretty bad breath as well, isn't that right? You stink. It's terrible. But jokes aside, seals do need to keep themselves well groomed, and for Mab that's really, really simple. Now in his back flippers he's got 3 claws on nails, and he can expose them, use them as a hairbrush, and make sure he never has a bad hair day. Good boy. And those big front flippers, they don't have any claws or nails in them, but they're big and they're soft. And in the water for Mab, well, they make the perfect face washer. Well, now Mab looks a little bit more presentable. We're going to send him across the front to get a little bit closer. And when he arrives, Pay particular attention to his whiskers because we're going to show you just how much control he really has over them. Now watch Mav's face as he puts his whiskers up to feel which way the fish is going to fall. Mav, do you want to show everybody your whiskers? Good boy. Do you want to try one more time? Up. Not bad. Third time. Good boy. Excellent. So each whisker has tiny sensitive nerve fibres that help with a sense of touch. And this is what helps seals track down fish in dark and murky water when they can't rely upon their eyesight. Now the best way for us to show you how Mav uses his whiskers is to ask him to balance a ball on his nose. His whiskers aren't strong enough to hold that ball up, but he can feel the way it's going to fall and compensate with the rest of his body. Now it took Mav over 2 years to learn this behaviour, so you guys need to give him a really big round of applause if he can get all the way back up onto his station. Nearly there.
Na jó, de hogy kezdik el?
Each whisker acts just like a little finger, and that means Mav can do things like catch. Boy, and he can throw back as well. Very well done, mate. So you can see seals are well equipped for life in the ocean. They've got these amazing whiskers. They've also got some fantastic vision and sharp hearing. So you would expect out in the wild they would have no trouble at all in finding food. But over the last few decades, we've overfished our oceans to the point where almost 3/4 of our large fish stocks, they're nearing extinction. Now there is something we can do to help out. Next time you're at the fish and chip shop or your local fish market, ask if the seafood you're buying comes from a sustainable source. By buying sustainable seafood means that Mav's wild cousins, as well as ourselves, will continue to have enough seafood for the future. If you want to find out more about sustainable seafood, at the end of the show there'll be a keeper down at this front box handing out a free wallet-sized sustainable seafood guide. That way you can take it with you, and every time you buy seafood you can make a better choice for our oceans. Well, I think Mav's done a pretty good show. How do you guys think he went? Alright? Yeah, you did alright. Well, please keep your round of applause going. We're going to head off stage, but I'd like you to welcome back Ryan, and who's out here with Marley.
Thank you very much, Mel and Mav. Well, I'm on stage with Marley, and Marley is Lexi's boyfriend, which makes him another Australian sea lion. Now, when you see the males, you can really understand why they are referred to as sea lions. You have a look at the top of Marley's head, and even on his neck, he's got this lovely golden mane here. Have a look at that. All this long fur out the back, looks a bit like a mullet. Business up front, party out the back. And that's how he lets all the females know he is a mature young man. Now, about 2 years ago, another female gave birth to Marley's first daughter, Nala, who's out the back, and hopefully Lexi will fall pregnant pretty soon with a very gorgeous pup as well. Now, we know a lot about Marley and his extended family, but there's actually a lot we don't know about the life in our oceans. One of the most common misconceptions about seals is that all they do is eat and sleep. Now, we might do a survey. Hands up, who thinks seals are lazy? Anyone? A few of you, and that's an easy mistake to make, because all day long a seal like Marley, well, he can be spotted on a beach or on some rocks, and they're usually not doing much, just laying down having a snooze. And when the sun comes out, maybe, yeah, having a bit of sunbathing as well. They look like very laid-back, cruisy animals, but looks can be deceiving. These guys, particularly the males, are always on high alert. When they're on the land, they like to establish themselves a bit of a territory, keep their eyes open, and watch their back. Good boy. Now, if a threat comes along from that position, Marley can turn and fight and get up and run away. Now, believe it or not, Marley is only about half, maybe even a third of the size of his full potential, so he's still got a lot of growing to do. But here at Seal Theatre, no one mucks around with Marley. None of the other seals are game to take him on, because he's an incredibly strong animal, particularly for his size. Now, keeping in mind how short and stocky Marley is, he weighs about 170 kilos. He's going to show off how powerful he is. Show everyone how strong you are, Marley. There you go. Good boy, well done. All that weight just on 2 flippers. So as you can see, when it comes down to it, seals just love to play. And it's when you see a group of seals that play together, you get an idea of how perfectly designed they are for the water. These underwater acrobats are beautifully streamlined and lightning fast and very strong. Have a look at Mitchie. Good double backflip from Mitchie there. Well, Mitchie showed you a terrific way to get away from predators. You've got to leap out of the water and often change direction in mid-flight. Now, that's a great method for a long and slender Californian sea lion, but for a stocky seal like Marley here, he needs to adopt a rather different method. Now, if a predator comes after Marley, he's just got to make a nice big leap out of the water. Now, Marley, do you think Mitchie did something impressive? Was that impressive? No, nothing on what you've got for us. Good boy. Now, Marley is not exactly all style, but he's going to make more splash than Mitchie. You ready, Marley? Big jump, mate. Off you go. There we go. And a shout for those who are in the splash zone. We have a very unimpressed little girl in that front row. Well, as you can see, Marley and Mitchie have shown you these animals are perfectly designed for their natural environment, the ocean. And that's about 75% of the world's surface, so that's where most of the life on our planet lives. It's in the sea. So if you have any rubbish or if you spot any rubbish, don't leave it laying on the ground because the chances are it'll end up in a waterway. We've got a special guest called Murphy, a Californian sea lion, who's going to come out and show us where our rubbish belongs. In the nearest bin. Well done, Murphy. What do you think of that, mate? You want to give Murphy a big smile? Yeah, that's a creepy smile, isn't it? Good boy. Well, if we can train seals to throw rubbish in the bin, I'm sure everyone in the audience can do the same thing. Well, today we've taken a peek into the incredible lives of these beautiful animals, and their future does depend on the choices we make. So just remember, there's something you should all keep in mind. What's that, Smurf? Your choices can make a positive difference. So on behalf of myself and Marley and all our other hard-working behind-the-scenes seals and trainers, thanks for coming to our seal show. Hope to see you all again very soon. Bye for now.